Andy, the EFL made the decision last night to suspend their opening day fixture of Bury. Been an interesting 4 or 5 days. Can you just provide some background on the last 4 or 5 days and the discussions we've had with the EFL?
Sure, thanks. The opportunity to explain where we are. We got a call on Friday morning from the Football League to advise us that the game against Bury on the 3rd of August would be in doubt. We were kept informed of progress during the day and were invited to make some observations in terms of if that game was to be postponed. We were then told on Friday that Bury would have until midday on Monday to come up with the information that the Football League required, which would give the league confidence that they could start the season and complete their fixtures for the forthcoming season. Over the weekend we made a number of representations to the league about the consequences and the implications for us of that fixture being suspended, and on Monday we were advised that the deadline would be put back to 5 p.m. on the basis that some information had been received by Bury. It had been further complicated by the fact that the game at Wycombe, which involved Bolton Wanderers, was also under similar threat, so that meant a fairly busy time for the league in terms of sifting through all the financial submissions and information that the various parties were providing to the league. So we were comfortable with that, but on the other hand we did want an early decision made as to whether the fixture was going to go ahead. I don't think it was anybody's interests for this to run throughout the week with the uncertainty of a fixture that was taking place. So that was how the sort of situation has unfolded, and then at around about 10 o'clock, quarter to 10 last night, we received a call confirming, unfortunately, for us that the game was going to be postponed or suspended, is the correct terminology, for Saturday.
Frustrating time, not only for our supporters and our team, but for Bury and their supporters, the EFL as well. It's not a decision they want to make. Do you empathise with all parties and the disappointment at this decision?
Well, I think the first thing to say is this is a very, very difficult and complex set of circumstances, and as a Football League have said, for them to be able to and nobody wants to see Bury go out of business. And the first thing is that the one result we want to come out of all of this is that Bury continue in the Football League. They're able to get their fixtures underway as soon as possible, because that has to be in the best interests of the game. And the EFL, for their part, can only obviously make that happen if they get the information that they require. So it's incumbent, on everybody to try and get to a situation where, for the supporters of Bury, for the people of Bury, for the staff, for the players there, that they can all sort of carry on with supporting their football club. This is a huge situation for supporters in particular. The football club, particularly in a place like Bury, creates a sense of community. It creates a sense of belonging, and it's absolutely imperative that everybody does whatever they possibly can to make sure that Bury survive. And that's the first big thing that happens. From our own circumstances, we're very disappointed. We have prepared meticulously for this particular game, going back to the start or the end of last season, when we started our recruitment of new players, right through to the way that our training sessions have been planned, the day we came back for pre-season, the conditioning that our medical and sports science team put into place, our whole pre-season fixtures and the way that's been planned out has all been geared towards a 3rd of August start date. And now that's put back by 7 days, and that has implications. It doesn't seem quite right. And whilst we empathise with the situation, for us, we're bitterly disappointed that we're not going to be walking out, on the pitch at Gig Lane on Saturday at 3 o'clock to commence the Football League season.
And obviously, from the supporters' point of view, potential financial loss with non-refundable travel arrangements that they've made. What can you talk in depth about the observations we've made to the EFL? Because I know it includes potentially recompensating supporters.
Yeah, there's two sides to it. I think, first of all, from the supporter perspective, there may be some supporters who hopefully, most people who have made travel arrangements independently or booked accommodation will be able to recover those costs. There may be cases where that's not possible, and from our perspective, what we want to make sure is that anybody who is consequently out of pocket, can't claim a refund or a full refund, that they keep that documentary evidence, because we'll be more than happy to take that up on their behalf with the league, and as soon as we sort of get some clarification about the best way of doing that, we will sort of publish that and make that quite clear. So if you can get the refunds, great. If you can't, make sure that you hold on to that those train tickets or those hotel accommodation sheets that don't allow you to get the refunds, and then we'll work with the league and the independent commissioner, who ultimately will hear the case against Bury's failure to fulfil the fixture in terms of what costs will be awarded. From a football perspective, the other thing that we're keen to do is see is that by not having a game this Saturday, it's going to mean that our season is truncated by a week. Now, when you're starting out a season, that doesn't sound too bad, but there may be a time when the fixture is due to be rescheduled that might put us on a sequence of 3 away games in short succession, or a sequence of a Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Saturday fixture, and that's something we want to avoid, because this situation is not of our making. It's not one that has become through an unfortunate set of circumstances which are beyond anybody's control, such as bad weather or an FA Cup match or other third-party interventions. This is a situation that is controllable, and therefore we've made representations to the league on that particular part as well. And the other thing is we're keen to understand, and I don't think there is, has there ever been a precedent in place where a fixture has been suspended, and what that has meant for the opposition club. We've asked the league to give us some guidance on that particular situation. There's been cases where fixtures have not been fulfilled because of postponements, or at the end of the season, as we saw last year with Bolton and Brentford, and a game that was abandoned at the end of the season previously between Huddersfield at Blackpool. So this is quite an unusual set of circumstances, and again, I believe that's something as well that the independent chairman of the commission that will hear this case will obviously take into consideration. So those are things that we'll continue to make strong representations to the league on behalf of supporters and on behalf of our first team management.
And I suppose you talked about the recompensating, that goes for the football team as well, because I imagine there's costs involved with the first team in ensuring they can get up to Bury, and coaches and hotels booked. So I imagine it's the same process for the football club.
Exactly the same process. We have obviously booked a coach to travel on Friday. We were going to train en route at Lilleshall, and we were going to, obviously we've booked hotels, so hopefully most of those costs will be refundable, but in the same way as some supporters may find some parts of it may not be refundable, or a deposit that we paid may not be retained. So I'm pretty confident the league will look favourably on that, and that we will not suffer financially in any way from the suspension of this fixture.
Speaking to Tiers, and in his usual self, he's quite positive, and he's trying to look at the positives of the situation. And one thing it does throw up is that we now open the season at home here at Stadium MK, which should be an exciting occasion in 10 days' time, a week's time. The opportunity to begin our League One campaign back here in front of the home fans.
I mean, we're just raring to go, and can't play this Saturday. There's nothing we can do about it. Yes, it can give us an extra week to work on a few things that Tiz will want to do, and the coaches and the players will want to work on. But we're just raring to go, and everybody will have been very much looking forward to Saturday, and it'll be a huge disappointment we're not kicking off. But the consequences of that are that we will be playing our first game at home, hopefully in front of a great crowd and a great atmosphere, and bring it on. We can't wait for this season. It's been something everyone's been looking forward to since the last ball was kicked at the beginning of May, and we want to get out there and get the season underway, and look forward to really making everybody excited and proud of the football team as we go into a new campaign.